Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of ATL on Fire, where we talk all things Atlanta United Football Club. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, it's ATL on Fire. We're on all the podcast catchers out there. Also find us on YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell. And joined by Dave Katz and Carmen Butler to talk about our road trip. We already talked about the Toronto leg, which didn't end up well. And we had a 2-1 loss against Redbulls, and then NYFC were able to pull off a tie at the end of the game. So, Dave, how you doing?
I'm good. We've got a delicious wine from Argentina in honor of our departed, missing in action Argentinian friend Sosa. I brought it for him. It's for you, Sosa, who apparently is suffering from fatigue. Apparently, after having a cold, he's had lingering fatigue issues. That's the thing. See? Did find something out.
Well, the wine is excellent. I'm not just saying. Like, it's different from a cab. Like, that definitely has a different flavor from cabs I've been drinking lately. So, thank you again.
It's a Tapiz Cabernet from Mendoza. So, yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. Salud, Carmen.
Hello.
So, you know, in honor of Dom Dwyer actually playing well during this campaign, the last 5 or so games, you know, I've got here on my phone is a little ATL on Fire in tribute to me being wrong.
Right off the bat?
Right off the bat, man.
Okay.
I'm just going to go right for it because Dom Dwyer, you know.
Now, is the trivia response Carmen, me, both of us alternating? What? Who's supposed to
I think
answer?
you can team up.
Okay.
Yeah, I need help.
You guys can
Okay.
both decide based on your.
We'll never get one wrong with that team. I mean,
'Cause with
come
the
on.
social life, I'm all
Yeah.
about it. The whole soccer thing, I don't know so much.
In 2014, while Dom Dwyer was playing for Kansas City, he had more or less than 20 goals during the MLS season. More or less than 20 goals.
That was his best year. And it was, Mikey Dobbs knows how to hit it hard. It was close to that. I still think, I have no idea, but I still think it was.
I'm going to go more.
All right, we'll go with more.
No, you can go differently. I'm
Oh.
just going to go more.
What's it gonna be?
My gut was saying that he never quite reached 20 goals. So I was going to go less.
Katz is always right.
No, I'm probably wrong.
So what's the answer, more or less?
Oh, we have to come up with one.
Yeah, you guys are a
Oh.
team
I'm
here.
going with you. Let's go less.
Now let's go with you. More.
Fine, more.
Katz is a smart man.
Oh
No, I said no. He's a smart man by going with you. Yeah. So he had 22 goals that season, and actually he had 24 in all competitions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So is he shorter or taller than 6 feet?
It's funny. You think that he's super tall, but because he's big, but he's not. He's only like 5'9", I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to go way under 6 foot.
I got to go shorter.
Nailed it. 5'9".
Woo, well done.
2 in a row.
He seems like he's big because, he's angry and he's wide.
And usually if they say 5'9", that means 5'7".
Oh, only for a goalkeeper,
probably
Rios
right.
Novo.
So it's similar.
Kevin Egan keeps insisting, oh, yeah, he's every bit as 5'10". And Moa keeps giving a sideways look like, uh-huh.
So Dom Dwyer is older or younger than 32?
I would have said he's 32.
I know. It's like
I'm just putting it right in the sweet spot, right?
Honestly, we think that he's older, but I actually think he's younger. I think he's 30 or 31.
I'll go with Katz on this one.
Smart. Yeah, 31.
Well
Nailed it.
done.
All right. So where did he play
He
his
just seems like he's been around a long time.
Right?
Where did he play his academy ball when he was in England? He played for a youth academy
I know
team.
this one. Do you know this one,
I do
Carmen?
not know this one.
I believe it was Norwich in the fens with the swamps.
Hey.
You going to back him on this
I'm
one?
backing him on this.
That's a smart decision. That's correct.
Well done.
They're killing it.
Now, I have the fifth question. I'm going to throw in a bonus one because I just read this stat before the trivia. So, out of all the touches Dom Dwyer has had this year, in total this season, more or less than 5% of his touches have resulted in a goal out of all of his touches.
Oh my goodness.
5% is the mark out of every time he's touched the ball. Is it resulted?
It seems like it can't possibly be 5, so that means it's definitely got to be more than 5.
Yeah. Let's go more.
We'll go with more.
Trick question. 4.8.
It seemed like it can't possibly be
It was
more
the
than
right
5.
logic, but I couldn't have gone, if I'd have put it at 4%, you would have obviously gone higher, right? So, yeah.
Got it.
So that was why I had to be tough on that one. All right. Now, the final question, this is really the bonus question, is Dom Dwyer leaving Atlanta United? Oh, phone dropper.
Is he leaving?
Is he leaving the club?
Not that I know of. Carmen, do you know anything?
I don't know anything.
Not that I know of either. So this is my conspiracy theory, right?
Okay.
So he got it right.
You got it right. I don't know. I don't know.
I
Either.
didn't hear anything.
I don't know either. But he has a mysterious tweet out there. You could probably pull it up on a tab on Twitter there, and let me see if I can find his quote here.
I don't know how to use it.
You just type in twitter.com and then search Dom Dwyer.
You get our ATL on Fire Twitter account.
So I don't know, Dave. I'll let you read that for the.
Okay,
you better,
ready?
Yeah.
Thankful for my time with the club and for giving me another opportunity to play. Great fight from the squad today. This group has a bright future, and the fans should be excited about what's ahead.
You read anything into that?
Sounds like he's leaving, but
Sounds like he's leaving, right? Like
you could say that he's just super caught up in the emotion, and he's never been a guy who's really eloquent.
Yeah.
So maybe just a bad way of saying he's really thankful that he gave him a chance and he got to score this great goal.
That's you could read it that way, but it's sure
It's not
a
good.
very awkward.
You heard it here first.
Awkward phrasing.
Now, and we have the rumor is there's another guy coming. There's an international youth spot.
That's why
maybe it's a replacement.
So this is my theory. Kudos to Dom Dwyer. He's proven his value and that he might have another year and a half in his legs, right? And Atlanta United can actually get some value.
We
want
to cash in.
We're going to cash in and get a defender, and I think that's what they've done here.
I like it.
Okay.
And Dom Dwyer understands, he's valued, and he was the chip that they had to play because he's proven.
Where would we
proven
be
himself.
without his goals? Oh my goodness!
So true.
Because we're already at the bottom of
What
the
do you
table.
What do you guys?
He got us a bunch of
I know.
points.
What do you think of that theory, though?
I like it.
All right.
I like it too. His wife just got transferred to LA.
Oh.
So maybe
His new wife.
I'm sorry, his ex-wife.
Oh yeah, so that doesn't matter.
Sorry. But the kids, gotta be close to the kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they'll all move out there.
maybe.
I don't know.
Where is she playing now?
LA. So the new LA team.
No, but where was she playing previously?
Orlando.
Well, that might make it because they were close by.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Orlando. If she's moving there, maybe he's a really good father and needs to be close to the kids.
I'm gonna say yes.
Carmen,
Yes, bringing
I
my
know,
Instagram stalking a little
can you
bit
get
to
red
that.
carded as a father?
Yeah. I'm
Because
not.
if there's a red card, Dom Dwyer will find a way.
I'm not much into reading too much into tweets, but I'm gonna say that tweet is 90% of a clue. He's out the door.
My son was watching the game with me, and he was like, "Okay, it's a race. Is he going to be red carded or score first?" And he did almost get red carded. He had an angry moment. You're like, "Oh God!" But thankfully, he stayed on the pitch and he scored.
Well, I'm so glad I was wrong about Dom Dwyer being able to score goals, and appreciate his time here if he's out the door.
If we ever come back this season to get above the playoff line, we have a lot to thank for Dom Dwyer just scraping us points when we don't deserve it.
No doubt. All right, Dave, what next? Because I'm relying on you. So as I discussed, listeners, I'm a poor host here. I have ESPN Plus, so I don't have Bally Sports. And in both instances when we were playing, I was in situations where I couldn't have my magical VPN machine show the game. So I've only been able to watch highlights and hear from both Carmen and Dave on how the games went. So what's your assessment of the Redbulls game? Did not sound good from all accounts of my texting.
No, it wasn't great. We did lead, so that was good. And in fairness, Redbulls are really the best team in the East right now, and we've never scored there. We scored our first goal ever there.
Martinez, who scored?
Yeah, Martinez came on to score.
That's a good sign.
It's interesting because let's start with the lineup. Right, so I think Carmen, for those of you on the YouTube channel, has the lineup pulled up. You want to read it, Mikey Dobbs?
Yeah. So up front we've got Cisneros and Araujo. In the middle we've got Sedic out on the left, Huzetu in the middle, Ibarra on the right. On the back line we're playing 5 in the back with Wiley, Dijon, Franco, Campbell, and McFadden, and then Rios Novo in goal.
So here's the easiest trivia question ever. How many mama did we start with?
We started with one, and that would be Araujo.
Right. So obviously Almada was still suspended on this game, right? But Martinez and Moreno available, and he starts with only Araujo. Now, obviously, Martinez, I feel like, you really got to be careful bringing him back, managing his minutes.
Yeah.
I know Moreno has played every minute of every game kind of thing, or actually usually comes off at about 80, but he's played almost the whole game, started every game. He really needed a rest. But is this the time when Almada is suspended to rest Moreno?
Yeah, I
would have thought with knowing Almada's coming back for the next game, why not rest Moreno in the second game?
Can you go down to the bench, Carmen, below? Is Hyman even available here?
Yeah, because he comes on.
So if he's on, then I would have started Hyman, and then I'm actually okay with Moreno resting. Because as long as it's not Amar Sedic, I'm fine. That guy is just not.
But he didn't start with Hyman either. Hyman's on the bench.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. I would have been happy if he would have started with Hyman to give Moreno some rest. But, yeah.
Okay, so then my next question to you is, so there's a big change. There's 5 at the back for the first time. What do you think? If you just forget the game, and maybe you didn't see the game anyway, but if you just look at it, what would you think?
I mean, I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, other than just a wing and a prayer of Araujo getting us a win and just then bunkering back, right? Like this lineup has very little chance to score.
Well, it's interesting because I actually think if you are unbelievably committed to, for God knows what reason, the outside backs have to go forward. That has to be part of the system, right? Then one of the things we've been showing over and over and over is that the 2 guys who are left in the back with a defensive midfielder trying to cover in behind the outside backs is not good enough. So if you're going to insist on that, then 5 in the back actually works, right? Because at least now you have 3 in the back left instead of 2 in the back. The obvious problem being that when Mama is all available, if you go with 5 in the back, you play Mama forward, that leaves you only 1 midfielder who is defending. That's the old guy on the island.
And the other thing is, I may be wrong, but I view Ronaldo Cisneros as more like your true 9 striker. I think he's got the build for it. I think he makes good runs when he's up and center up front. And putting him out wide is almost like a forward in this situation with, or the dual striker. It's with Araujo. I just don't think it's the best situation for him.
No.
And then we're also just changing the chemistry of what we've done all year with 4 in the back, which, now you're putting Franco and Campbell particularly in kind of a new situation.
The interesting thing,
everybody's chemistry is off here.
The interesting thing about this lineup is that if it's obviously designed to have the outside back still bombing forward, and if you're going to do that, you're going to get crosses. If you get crosses and in dangerous spots, you need guys finishing in the middle. And you look at this lineup and you say, all right, if you're going to do that, then it should be Cisneros and Martinez, the 2 guys who can finish, right? Because Araujo has scored goals, but he's not getting in the box and fighting for, crosses, right? And Huzetu, Sedic, Ibarra, none of them have shown how to do it. It's obviously a sit back, sort of park the bus and counter on the outside kind of formation, which I think is not, considering how poorly we played in Toronto, is not a terrible decision. But why not have 2 finishers in the game if that's going to be your strategy?
Yeah. I don't hate that. And then even, if you put Martinez in, drop Araujo back to Ibarra's spot, take Sedic off, and then shift everybody left there. But That's
So I have a major, final assessment of this game. I don't know whether you want to show the goals first, or you want to just skip to it. What do you think?
I don't know. I say we go simple on the highlights here.
Okay.
What's your assessment?
So to be honest with you, I thought we played not terribly. Considering it's the Redbulls, it's the first time we scored. We survived until Martinez comes off. I think it is notable, right? If we go to our goal, which is the first goal of the game, it is notable that we do not score until Martinez comes onto the game. And he comes onto the game and he plays with Cisneros, right? So we finally had two finishers in the box. And on this goal, as you're going to see, both McFadden and Wiley end up both in the 6-yard box where they cross to one another, but there's finally people in the box trying to finish. So play the clip. It's played Araujo out to Wiley. He could have gone straight in if it was played a little lighter. He's on the end line. He crosses it to McFadden, the other back. Hyman is right there to put it in. It goes off the goalkeeper, goes back into his hand, which should have been a handball, and we'll get to that in a second. And then Martinez cleans up the garbage.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the handball.
Yep.
So Hyman goes in and volleys it about 1 yard away from the keeper, 3 yards out.
Yep.
And it instantly bounces back and hits his arm. This is what we were talking about before. Is his hands in an unnatural position? Well, how is that?
So tell people what the rule is.
Well,
now, the current interpretation.
Well, the current interpretation is if your arm is in an unnatural position, which means away from your body, right?
So it used to be that you could have what's so-called a ball to hand, right? Where somebody's so close to you, they smash it. You can't move your hand out of the way, so then it's not a handball. That was slowly going away. You got all these crazy penalty kicks called on crosses where somebody would block it. And so then we said, well, if you're cynical, all these outside backs were really good at making themselves huge, right? And then they would kick it in and block it with their arm, and they would, it wouldn't be a penalty kick because it was ball to hand, right? And they said, no, enough of that, because then you get cynical and you make yourself big. So they said, all right, now there's no longer that. Your body has to be in a natural position, meaning that if you show me on the YouTube camera, you can say, all right.
That's not gray. What's a natural position? Like
this.
Sometimes to keep your balance, you got to do this, right? So I don't fall over. Sometimes this helps me be in a natural position.
So you see this crazy stuff, like when people are defending like crosses, you see them doing this with their hands behind their back.
It's the worst thing that's ever happened to soccer.
That I think is really...
It's a bunch of grown
unnatural
men walking or playing soccer with their hands behind their back. Come on.
Right. So now, anyway, the rule is that if your hand is in a natural position, particularly if it's against the body, then it's not a handball. And so that case, it's a weird thing because his hand is kind of out. On the other hand, it just ricocheted off the goalkeeper and went right into it. And he was moving pretty naturally. So what do you think?
Well, I think under the current rule, it's a handball.
I agree.
I mean,
and should it be a handball?
No,
we agree.
Okay. So and what's even stranger, Dave, is we agree on this, and the guys behind the camera can't even get it right. Like you know what I mean? Like as much as I want to disagree that it shouldn't be a handball.
The current interpretation of the rules that has to be a handball.
Exactly.
That is clearly not in a natural position and hits his hand, and it affects the play because it would have gone back out.
Yeah.
So it's clearly a handball. If you are a Red Bull fan, you're probably screaming bloody murder.
Right. I mean, the only way in the current interpretation that your hand is in a natural position is if it's down by your side. That is the only thing I've seen is the consistent rule on what is a natural position is your hand is like you have them now in your pockets. So if it hits your arm like that.
We should design uniforms with pockets so we can prove to the referee.
Dave, you're very natural right
you.
now. This is the only way you cannot get a handball. Oh, no, elbows in.
I'm showing what's unnatural. Okay, sorry.
So, there we go. All right.
That was my unnatural modeling.
So we come out hot. Look at that.
Yeah, so we score, and it's 80th minute, right? So the time of the goal is 80th, 81st minute. So you think, okay,
winning
now,
on the road. This is what happened when I was not watching the game.
we've never scored in Red Bull Arena. Never. And you went there.
Yeah.
You didn't see a goal.
Did we tied that 0-0?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So it was not a bad result,
Yeah.
but you didn't see a goal. So we've never scored at Red
It
Bull
felt
Arena.
like a goal. It felt like a goal happened.
Now, Mikey Dobbs, if you're the coach and you score your first goal at Red Bull Arena and the team's been reeling and you just went in Toronto and lost against the worst team in the league and you're at Red Bull Arena and it's the 80th minute and you just scored the first goal, now what do?
Oh, you parked the bus, I guess.
Yes. Oh, my God, you parked the bus.
I mean, I'm not a fan of parking the bus, and I'm literally saying this with actually not knowing what happened.
So
this was, I felt like it was a trick question, but I'm going to be like, you got to park the bus at this point, especially if we're going 5 in the back. Like, bring everybody back.
So, Carmen, you can go back to the lineup and see, did we make any subs late? We certainly didn't. I don't recall us making a defensive sub. If you scroll down, you'll see when we made the substitutes, I believe. Does it say the moment? Maybe we got to go all the way.
It does. Marcelino Moreno comes in. No minutes, though. But
No
you
minutes,
can
though.
see they came in.
Marcelino Moreno came in very late. That was it. So Emerson Hyman was on during the goal. Joseph Martinez was already on in the goal. So the only sub that we made after that was Marcelino Moreno, which is not exactly a defensive sub, Mikey Dobbs. And now if you look at the bench, we only have one defender on the bench, Mikey Ambrose. But I would have brought on Mikey Ambrose, or at least not brought on an attacker per se. You might say, all right, Marcelino Moreno, keep him up top and he can run out time. But here's the thing, right? If there's ever a time you would tell our young outside backs to stop going forward, don't you think that would be the time?
Yeah. That'd be it. Did they go up?
They kept bombing forward. I was screaming at the television, no!
Well,
Now, I don't actually think that's what caused the goal, but still.
in a roundabout way, I'm sure it did. Because if you just stay back, like we talked about on the lot.
Well, even if you don't stay back, you get 1-0 on the road Red Bull Arena, and then you're like, okay, let's stay back. Right? So now maybe you can show the other 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a young.
So obviously, in the first goal, is taking on Wiley on the outside, right at the end line, and he makes a terrible, stupid challenge. Didn't need to even challenge.
Just don't leave your feet there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just don't leave your feet.
But this is what I said last podcast, that,
right.
They're young and naive and they're going to make those mistakes. And, so that's obviously not Wiley up the field because he's all the way back on our end line. And you can see McFadden's back too. So that didn't cost us there. But I'm like, really? Why are we still sending our outside back?
So this is how Rios got his yellow card.
Because he was, he was delaying.
Oh, that's painful. So they score a penalty here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Any chance of
So
saving
you would
this?
think Rios Novo would do pretty well as a goalkeeper, but he went right down the middle.
Yeah, that's tough to save. You gotta dive one way.
You got to read that. It was not very well sold.
I don't know, man. That wasn't a bad penalty kick at all. That was great.
No.
He was committed.
I think it's a terrible penalty.
No, that's great. If you're going to go down the center, just kick it down the center. It was great. He didn't stutter. He didn't do any stupid crap,
Okay,
Dave.
so now
he just kicked it right down the center and said, take that.
Okay, so now you can actually, it does cost us a little bit because you can actually see we're building out of the back, right? And Mikey Dobbs, can you please describe for the listening audience who's not necessarily on YouTube where Wiley and McFadden are? Play it a little bit longer and then stop it. Stop it now.
Well,
where are they?
Let's just say we've got 2 in the back, and then we've got about 20 to 30 yards in front, very wide. Both of our, wing backs out very wide. But really, I mean, you really can't blame this on anyone other than Alex Dijon.
But, here's the thing, right? So
now here's the thing. You see that ball coming, and you do everything in your power to, not let the guy just come up and take it from you.
Yeah, I mean, but I would have said like so. In a normal tactical system, at this point in the game, you would have had the right and left back, I don't know, 5 or 10 yards outside of the two backs, right? Moving up as a line so that there's no anything like if there's a problem, they're there. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, you didn't need to. It was not a bad pass.
Yeah, you're right, though, that, that's why you'd be parking the bus, because parking the bus at least gives you some level of recovery on this disaster of a play by Alex DeJean, who Franco's playing the ball just, across in front of him.
Square out of the back. DeJean's got 20 yards. He never goes and gets the ball.
Just lets a younger kid come in and scoop it up from him. Yeah. So there you go. It's 1-1. You're like, oh, that stinks. We didn't win the game.
Yeah. But we got a late draw. That's harsh, but and then no, we lost.
No.
So painful.
Help me out there, Dave. Some of that Mendoza.
That kid was 16?
16. Well, that's what happens right there with an older vet left back, or no, I guess he's a center back in that position there, not being able to read the speed of a 16-year-old. That's the difference.
Well,
of somebody who needs to retire.
I'm going to play my Mikey Dobbs on this one. Who cares? Like, just go get the ball.
I'm with you. I'm just saying that just shows that it's time to retire. Because you can't read the speed of a 16-year-old.
It's really bad. I mean, really, really bad. Okay. All
right.
So yeah, that was, I was going to say what my take on, but I've already said it, which is you go 1-0 on the road. You need, if there's ever a point that just hits home completely how committed Pineda is to having the outside backs go forward, that even when we finally score a goal at Red Bull Arena in the 80th minute, he still doesn't stop him from going forward.
No.
That's my point.
All right, on to the next leg in New York, which is NYFC in the midget field.
On the midget field, yes.
Yeah. And not that there's anything wrong with midgets. I'm just saying it's
size appropriate for our goalkeeper.
For midgets. I love midgets. Tell the midgets out there. No
it's offense. Proportional.
Wee man.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, wee man.
Carmen's blushing over there.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right. So you want to tell them the lineup. So now, this is the return of Almada. We knew it was coming, which is why I don't really understand resting Moreno. Don't understand that. But anyway, now that Almada comes back, give him the lineup.
I need my glasses here. So we got Moreno. No, Martinez up front. This is the first time we got Mama. That's right.
Yes, we do.
So we got Martinez, Moreno, Almada, and Araujo. Or if I say it in the Mama terms, it's Moreno, Almada, Almada, Martinez, and Araujo.
So this is the dream, Mikey Dobbs, right? Because the idea was to have Mama from the beginning. And if you went to 4 in the back instead of the crazy 5 at the back last year, that would leave you with 2 midfielders to balance the team, and it all works, except...
And then we got Hosetu and Sejdic, which, again, Sejdic is playing, which... It's just such a sore thing to see out there. And then we got 4 in the back, Wiley, Campbell, Franco, and McFadden. Again, that's our only option. Because you certainly don't want to see DeJean out there after the
no,
one that we just saw. And we got Novos in the back. Other than Amar Sejdic, I'm totally cool with this. Would love to see Hyman or who else could we even play there? Ibarra?
Yeah, so it should have been Ibarra or Hyman. And Ibarra, in fairness, looked really gassed in Red Bull Arena. He's been playing a ton of minutes. Look at that. Which I didn't realize. Santiago Sosa was on the bench.
I would like to see Machop Chol in there versus Amar Sejdic. Anything.
So if Sosa was on the bench and maybe available for at least 20 minutes, then you would have said, all right, why not push a bar a little bit to the limit, knowing that, look, you're going to go 60. We got Sosa coming for you. Just hang in there, kid. Yeah.
But Hyman's not even on the bench. Why is that?
That's a good question.
Don't know.
I don't know. As I told you, that I had to watch the game without sound, looking sort of across, so I didn't actually get to hear the commentary, so I don't know.
So what was your summation of the game? You thought this game was worse than the Redbulls game.
I thought we got dominated. Yeah, I mean, we're really lucky. I mean, nobody who, as you point out, nobody wins in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
It's a terrible place to play. They're good at playing there. But here's the thing, right? So their coach left, Mikey Dobbs. So the coach who won the title last year,
That's right.
who had them win, they were in first place. They had won, 6 consecutive games on the road, something ridiculous like that. And then he gets offered, I think he's coaching one of the Belgian sides.
Yeah, okay.
And a good side, like maybe even a Belgian, like Champions League kind of considered side. But, and so he leaves mid-season, and New York City FC's been in a tailspin since then. They've still been able to score, but they, since he left, have been giving up almost 3 goals a game. And they hadn't won since he left, right? In fact, I don't even think maybe they had one tie, maybe they had 3 or 4 losses. It hasn't been that long, but they were in a tailspin, right? So you say, all right, they never lose at home. They're really good at home, but if they were ripe for the picking, and we still got dominated in this game, Mikey Dobbs.
Well, we talked about this last season in the podcast. I forget what their record is at home. It's still pretty unbelievably slanted. It's almost like the U.S. women's national team record in the States.
And here's the thing, right? If there ever is a field that you can play on an island in the middle, this is it, right?
Yeah.
So you could have actually kept the 5 in the back and only played Josetu or only played Ibarra, because there's no midfield to speak of. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I didn't hate the lineup other than Amar Sedic. I didn't.
I don't mind I mean, this is our dream lineup. It should be 4 in the back, 2 defensive midfielders, or 2 midfielders who at least can defend at some level, and Mama up top. And as we talked about on the podcast extensively over the last 2 podcasts, right? Your job as that 6 in the back should be to get up, challenge, recycle the ball, and give it back to Mama. And as you can see you'll see in the first goal, you're going to show their first goal first, but Almada makes a huge difference. But anyway, go ahead.
What do we got? They're coming at midfield here.
New York City FC. Okay, pause it. So
was he offside there though?
No, they went back and showed it. He was right on. So Castellanos makes a run across our back 4. Franco is tracking the run. I mean, he literally has perfect position. And Campbell, God bless him, is a little bit clueless to that run. He doesn't really see it. But Franco decides at the last second to stop and hold basically the line for him to be offside. But he doesn't get it right. Campbell is reacting a little bit back, and he keeps Castellanos slightly on. And so they both get beaten. And this is, in a small field from a stand, not in a turnover situation, our back 2 can't get beat by this, Mikey Dobbs.
Yeah. Well, this is also like the advantage that New York must have, just understanding that it is part of the play in the field. I don't know. But, yeah, not great goalkeeping either. Gets beat near post.
Yep. Doesn't really make it hard.
Doesn't make it hard. That's a Braguzan save all day long.
I agree.
I agree too.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Rios Novo. Rios Novo, if you're he's got to be elite on those situations, right? Because obviously he's not tall enough to really dominate the box or cover, big things. So he's got to be elite at that front post, kind of, making those quick reaction saves. And if he gets beat on that, then. Yeah. Now, the transfer window opens when, maybe Carmen can look that up for us after a while. But so the reason why the 2 new players haven't played yet is because even though they've technically transferred, they're not eligible to play. I think it opens between these 2 games. So they were not eligible to play in this game, and I think they are eligible to play Saturday night. So that's the reason why you haven't seen the new goalkeeper yet.
Nor Dom Dwyer's replacement.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Wow, make it up.
But no, if to your point, like, again, we're getting defensive coverage. That's a smart move for the club, right? What do you think of that? If we get another solid defender in place of Dom Dwyer.
Well, we signed a solid defender.
And
signed
value.
a defender.
But we
we
need some more depth. I mean, Mikey Ambrose is not going to do it.
We signed a center back.
Alex DeJean is not going to do it. We signed 1 center back.
You would think that we have to sign an outside back. And honestly, please don't give me a young, promising, attacking center back. Give me a wily veteran who can defend. I know that's not what they're going to do. But give me somebody who can play defense, right? Because we don't need more attack.
Yeah.
Right, we finally have Mama hitting on all cylinders. We may even have Dom Dwyer coming off the bench. We don't need that.
Yeah. So, do you want to go to the goal highlights here in NYFC? What do you?
So I think it said Carmen looked at that up. It was July 1st, right? No, was it not July?
July? No.
Transfers will not. Is this what you wanted? I don't know.
No, this is.
The Google. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, we can look it up. But I believe that the transfer window is reopening starting after the New York City FC. And so all of those new transfers, the new goalkeeper, the new center back, were only eligible to play starting, secondary transfer window, July 7th. Thank you, Carmen.
Yeah.
Right, so July 7th, that means tomorrow. So they are eligible to play on Saturday, but they were not eligible.
So does Dom Dwyer's tweet mean even more now?
It might. It might make it
If this happens, we have to say we called it first.
We did call it first. And
well, we'll tweet about it.
I'm gonna title the episode. I mean, we did Dom Dwyer Trivia. We're the first to call his transfer.
Could be.
And we've already predicted that he's going back to Orlando with his family.
No, going to L.A.
Going west.
Where his kids went.
L.A. There we go.
It would be amazing, not only if you were transferred, but if you were transferred somewhere out west. That would really explain things.
Wow.
But, okay. So we give up a first goal. They hit the post, and we had 2 cleared off the line.
Yeah, and they almost scored from 40 yards out on a chip over the goalkeeper.
Yeah, they almost chipped Rios Nova, who plays very up the field, and they're aware of that. It's only a matter of time before he gets chipped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to be aggressive coming out as a goalkeeper. I mean, the Red Bull goalkeeper was a little nuts coming out, but he actually at least charges forward, doesn't stand forward, so he's not able to be chipped.
So what do we got? So it's 1-0 NYFC. Oh, my Almada. What a beautiful little chip cross.
Welcome
to
back,
Martinez.
Thiago Almada.
That's what Mama can do if we can figure it all out.
Mama to mama.
And by the way, I thought that was Franco because I didn't realize Almada was back for this game.
Yeah.
And I should have known better because that is pure class.
And a great header from Martinez.
Great to see from Martinez. So that was exciting. I'm excited just watching that.
That's a great goal.
And it's also a great goalkeeper, too.
And it proves the point, right? So do we need the outside backs? Were the outside backs involved in that play, Mikey Dobbs? So this is the first time we've had Mama.
Yeah.
Okay? So I want you to watch both goals, and then we're going to decide whether or not we really need the outside backs.
No,
so we tied the game.
We've already established we do not need the outside backs. We don't need the hash
But we're going to prove it.
It's proven.
So it's a seesaw battle. We gave up one. We scored one. It's 1-1, and then...
Yeah. Oh, this is painful to watch. That goal just could have been swept up so many times, and that everybody's back is to the ball there. Talk about not even being on your heels. Talk about being on your toes defending. They just were charging down the field.
Can you, at the end of this play, so pause it now.
Sorry.
Sorry. Whoa, what happened?
We're
We're in a different game. What happened? We went to the next game.
It's Nashville.
All right, we had a technical difficulty. I caught Carmen off guard. It's my bad, Carmen. I mean, really? I got panicked. But so if you can find that again, that would be absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Okay. So let it go to the second version of it. Put it full. Yeah. So when I say pause, we're gonna pause it twice because I want to make 2 points on this.
Where's Castellanos from?
He's from Argentina.
He's Argentinian. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, I forgot to say pause. Go back. You got me distracted.
I was waiting for that too. I was like, Carmen, is he going to help you out here or what?
Right there. Oh, you had it, right? You had it perfect.
No, we're
Okay,
good. We're
so
going to
play.
just...
Yeah. And pause it. Okay. So, you'll. I want to point out 2 things. Okay. So McFadden, who's our right back, is he coming over to make the play, or is he coming back to make the play?
Back through the
Mikey
center.
Dobbs? Yeah, because he's so far up the field that he's actually chasing back. And he actually, God bless him, runs all the way back, runs by Franco, and then what he tries to do...
Gets in a good enough position, but just doesn't get the job done.
Right. So he tries to flick it with his outside foot left instead of just putting his boot through it and putting it out for a goal kick, for a corner or even a throw in. He tries to get cute with it. He plays it right back to New York City FC and they score. Now, where's Wiley in this clip?
He is about 30 yards back from the 18, maybe 25 yards. Well, maybe 18 yards, really, if I'm measuring properly.
Okay.
But he's out of the play. He's right. Tracking back, and he's not in
now
the play.
Play the clip, and when I say pause it again. So McFadden plays it outside, and wait. Let it go, and pause. Who's playing left back, Mikey Dobbs? Do you know who number 9 is?
That's who's that to.
That is correct, with his arms behind his back. I mean, to show you, he's the back guy on the cross.
There's not even a chance it's going to hit his arm. He's so scared.
Yeah, because he's not a left back.
No, he doesn't want to be in an unnatural position, Dave.
Yes, but no.
That is 100% natural.
No.
That is natural 9 position.
No outside back ever on the weak side has ever used that formation. You use that when you're about to try to block the cross.
Yeah.
So this is the problem with the system, right? Because not only McFadden was so far up the field, he ends up coming back into the play. Wiley, as we just showed, is back up of the play. And Josetu is playing left back for him. And so the problem is, who is the guy who's supposed to be right in front of the back four stopping this play?
Are you talking to me?
Josetu. Josetu is supposed to be the guy because he's a defensive midfielder or a midfielder. And in fact, it was a little bit weird to me, but Josetu was the defensive of the two. He actually had Josetu almost the defensive of the two when he was playing with Ibarra, which is nuts to me. But certainly with Sejdic, he's the more defensive of the two. Right? And so he's playing the defensive midfield. He's covering in for the back, and that leaves nobody stopping this run up the field.
Because Amar Sejdic is useless going forward, and he's even more useless going backwards.
Yeah, he's terrible.
He actually helps people go backwards.
But I want to, I wanted to emphasize this because the point is not just that the outside backs are back and they can't get back. It also means that one of the center midfielders has to go covering from him, and there's no protection for the back four when that happens. And Josetu is proving it because Josetu is playing left back.
Yep, you're right. We've talked about it. Oh, but he's not playing left back. He's playing with his arms behind his back.
Yeah,
he's got no chance.
He has no idea what to do in left back. So this whole idea that one of our defensive midfielders is going to cover back there, it puts a guy who has no natural affinity for that spot in playing that position.
But the good news here, Dave, is we come out with a tie, right?
Yep.
So
miracle upon miracle. So what's going to happen? Mikey Dobbs, say it isn't so.
It's Dom Dwyer with his sunset contribution. 1 point for Atlanta United. 1 point on the scoreboard to tie it up.
And I want to say that, so you're going to see in this clip, if you pause it, so we're going to play down the right side, and we're going to get across. And Dom Dwyer right now is at the top of the box. He runs into the box, sort of to the penalty spot, and he shows classic forward movement, which instead of just charging like a bull into the 6-yard box, he stops and drifts back for the little cutback. It's really, really good movement.
Yeah, it was. He knew right where the little triangle was going to happen. Takes the fullback out right here. Boom. Far post.
I told you, he's still got some things.
I didn't think he did, man. I didn't, you know?
Now, the question is, with all of that, why did he not score last year for Kansas City?
Oh, Orlando, you mean?
No, he was back at Kansas City. He went from Orlando to Kansas City to here.
Is he in Toronto at some point, too? Like, I feel like he was everywhere.
Oh, maybe it was Toronto. Maybe it was Toronto. I can't remember.
Oh, so here we are with a tie, which feels, I mean, I felt a little bit better after watching the score on my phone click to 2-2.
Yeah, sure, because you were like down 2-1. And to be honest, 2-2 is a good result for us. Yeah. Normally if you just say nobody wins in the bandbox, that is
no one wins Stadium. And we should have clearly won in Red Bull Stadium. I mean, that was a cluster. That's the first time I've seen that. That was a disaster. I'm sorry for anyone who actually had to watch that game for 90 minutes.
But I think this road trip illustrates the point, which is our team, even with all of the other things that we've had, even with not having Sosa back and the back four being a problem, is good enough. We could have won all 3 of these games. We can still be one of the best teams in the East. I think our back four is not going to dominate, and so we're going to have to sometimes outscore people. We're going to have a wily penalty kick that's terrible sometimes. But if the tactics were right, there is no reason why we can't, instead of giving up 2 a game, only give up 1 a game. And if we gave up 2 on each of these games. We gave up 2 to Toronto, we gave up 2 to the Redbulls, we gave up 2 to NYFC. If we give up 1 goal a game, you can't tell me that Mama ain't going to usually score 2.
They sure are. And I have a question for you, Dave. Do you think if Frank DeBoer was coaching this team this year, that there'd be any chance for, heads rolling? Because here's and let me also quickly answer that after you answer this one.
Okay.
Which is more important. We're like second from the bottom at this point? What's our click on the standings? We're like 13th, 14th. What are
11th,
we?
12th. Dude, 11th or 12th.
I mean, we're way down there, dude.
11th.
11th. Are we going to make the playoffs?
Team-wise, yes. Coaching-wise, no. I say no. Ugh, I can't believe I just said that.
Sorry, I'm not sure I totally followed. Team-wise, yes.
The talent that we have should absolutely make the playoffs. Right. With the coaching that we have, I don't think we make it. Okay. And we said at the beginning of the year.
So that follows up quickly with the DeBoer thing.
Okay.
Shouldn't Pineda be sacked then? Like, if we're a world-class club that has a team that should be making the playoffs with some simple, not overthinking it coaching, or do we give him more runway because we've had enough turbulence here at Atlanta United? Yeah. I think, that's the only reason this.
I'm really for not sacking your coach. After it's almost a year now, but not even a year. I would say when you hire a coach, you really want to be committed to 2 to 3 years, and if it's not an upward trajectory, fine.
I'm with you.
My problem is that's usually true if you're in a situation where you're rebuilding, or at least you're, team and you're trying to get going or whatever. This team is the highest paid team in the league. It's got 4 of the best attackers in the league. It has depth. It's one of the best squads ever assembled in MLS, in my opinion. And so, okay, we've had a lot of injuries, and maybe that means we're not first. We're maybe 3rd or 4th. But to be 11th, Mikey Dobbs, I think that you have a shorter leash on a coach when you have that kind of squad.
So,
So I don't usually call for a coach.
So I agree. I usually don't call for a coach either. But let me tell you this, Dave. If we have, so let's talk in the next 3 games. Which are the next 3 games at home? I'm going to the Austin game, right? I got tickets.
Carmen is on top of it.
Boom.
Austin, Real Salt Lake, and Orlando.
So we got a 3.
Austin's the best team in NMLS right now.
Here's what I'll say. If we don't at least come out with 2 wins at home out of this 3-game run, Pineda, the call for hasta luego, especially with 4 mamas up front.
And you would got to think if Sosa makes the bench for that last game, that Sosa's ready. So you might see a team that is the back 4, which is we're talking about, but Sosa and Ibarra, or Sosa and Josetu. I would probably say Sosa and Ibarra because I would say, look, Mama's so good forward. We just want to have defense. You want to protect that back 4. And I think Sosa and Ibarra are both good enough to not just get the ball to Mama, but to get it in good spots, recycle it quickly. So I don't really think you need an attacking midfielder out of those 2. I would play Sosa and Ibarra routinely with Mama in front of them, especially with knowing that we've got 2 of the youngest, outside backs in the league.
So here's my prediction. We're definitely making the playoffs.
Okay. Ooh. You heard it here first.
Should I write that down?
You can write it down. You can write it down. As much as Pineda can try to screw it up. Dobbs. Because, here's why.
You believe in players.
I believe in players.
Yeah.
And I say that with a caveat, right, of Araújo and Almada, and at least Martinez and or Moreno stay. So, but most importantly, Almada and Araújo stay healthy.
Uh-huh.
If those 2 stay healthy for the run up here, the next 2 months, we're making the playoffs.
Yeah, can anybody possibly stop Mama?
Did you see how good that little chip cross was from Almada? I mean, how even Cisneros is going to get...
The 4 of them look amazing. All 4 of them have looked really great. Now, Martinez, just before he went back, to have that, the rest for his knee didn't look but he
looks good,
He looks like his knee is fine.
Dude, that header he just had in that game was...
He had it scoped out, which I told you I thought was the key. After the surgery, just clear it out a little bit, give him a few weeks to recover, and he would be back to the Martinez of old.
I didn't think that I would see a header from Martinez, but the thing is, if he's got those little plays from Almada and Araújo, like, come on, Dave, like, how can this is where the players overcome a crappy coach.
Yep.
So
I like it. I like the passion. I like the prediction.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
So I think we're
going with playoff 2, Carmen, huh? So 2, Carmen.
Yes, I'm going the playoffs.
I think in fact we're going to finish 6th.
Okay. I'm going to bring our new vintage if we do, because to celebrate making the playoffs, that would be amazing. And I'm super excited if we do, because honestly, this team getting the playoffs, which would involve us, making a significant march up the table, we could win it all because it would mean that we have momentum.
Yeah, and let's see who we get defensively for Dom Dwyer.
Well, we already know we got 1 new center back.
Yeah, from
right. And honestly, no offense to Rios Novo, but he hasn't bailed us out at all. He hasn't made any big saves at all. And the new goalkeeper
is legit.
Is supposed to, the center back I've heard.
I've kind of been hearing some stuff like that.
But the new goalkeeper is legit good.
But is the center back better than Alex DeJean?
Well.
I've
never seen him play.
I put a cone on the field that was
better.
But yes.
The new goalkeeper, though, I think was not just people said signed as a last minute, we got to get to the end of the season. I think this guy's been signed, they're just thinking Guzan was at the end of his career anyway. Yeah. And they signed him, to be the number 1 for the next, 5 years or whatever. Yeah. And he's played in the Champions League, Mikey Dobbs.
Yeah.
So, he's tall. He's supposed to be really good. He's appeared for the Mexican national team.
I already know he's going to be better than.
Well,
I mean, come on.
He's better than Shuttleworth.
Yeah, he's better than
Shuttleworth. And no offense to Novo, I just don't think he's. I think he'll be the starter. If you're gutsy in Pineda, he is the starter at Austin and be like, I've seen enough.
Yep. So Dave, other than we've talked all things Atlanta United football, I think at this point. World Cup technology, breaking news, which
I just want to stop you, Mikey Dobbs, and give you your fair due.
Okay.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, dear podcast listeners, Mikey Dobbs has been talking about this for at least 10 years about what should happen. He was first to say that there should be VAR. He was first to say that there should be this technology, and kudos to you. Take it away.
Yeah. Well, no, a little correction. Thank you. I was the first to say there should be technology that is brought into the game. I think that VAR, video assistant referee, is the worst thing that maybe ever happened to soccer. So let me just get that out of the way. Because the reason I think technology should be brought in the game is it brings speed and accuracy. And there's three things that I think technology can be absolute on. The ball is in or out, somebody is on or off sides, or it's a goal or a not goal. Let the ref do the rest, right? But if you can get those three things correct, you take that off the plate of the referee, whether the ball went out of bounds or not, whether it was a goal or not, or whether somebody is on or off sides, which can all be done by a Georgia Tech summer class on bringing $19.99 technology to IDF chips, right? So It now sounds like they finally figured out something I've been talking about for 15 years, which is put a chip in the ball. And here's what I haven't read about it yet, which is
that's not like you.
It's not like me.
Now you've won the battle. You're just
won the
like
battle. But my point is like the technology's out there. So I'm not totally committed that they're not going to F this up even more with this, because that's a possibility. It is FIFA. It is So
let me tell you then. I'll tell you a little bit about it. So there is a chip in the ball.
Do they also require chips on players is my question.
No, but here's the thing. So there's chip in the ball, and it will determine three things, Mikey Dobbs.
Okay.
When it goes over the line, when it goes out of bounds, and when you're offside. The three things that you asked for.
But no, but
and what we'll do is they have now pinned, I don't know what it is. It's like 19 cameras on the roof of the stadiums.
Okay.
And those cameras will pinpoint, I think it is 27 locations on every player.
Okay.
And will combine with the chip on the ball to say the second that the ball is kicked will automatically give you the 27 points and will show you not just whether they're on or off with a line, but what happens in this new technology is the part of the player who is offsides turns a little bit red, like if it's your elbow, if it's your chest, so that the referee can look and say on or off, but not just off what position it's doing. So, for example, in the crazy Premier League scenario that we saw where the point was there, and that's not actually considered offsides, the referee still will be able to say his arm would be red for being offsides, but the referee will be able to say the rest of his 23 points are on, and that's on.
So there's only one flaw in this, and I'm going to call it out, okay?
All right.
Which is the cameras are not going to be able to decipher who the ball is touching at some like little minute moment, right? If you and I are right next to each other, and
so if it came off somebody,
if it came off me or you, and it's like you're trying to slow.
A la the Champions League final.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm just
we talked about,
but just. Unless there's a chip on the player that indicates vibration of how it comes off of the actual player, how are you going to know?
So the answer is that is still the weakness in the offside system when there comes to a judgment about who it came off of, or a number of those situations.
But in 95% of the cases, this should speed things up, right? It's like boom,
yes,
offside.
And apparently it reports that automatically to the referee within 23 seconds or something at the longest. So, should help. It's what you've been calling for, Mikey Dobbs.
But I'm a little worried about it being used for offside right away until it's proven.
They've tested it out in 3 different leagues, and it's worked beautifully.
Oh, okay.
So this is not the debut. It's also been debuted in a Youth World Cup. So it's ready to go, Mike.
Well, I'm optimistic if they've tested it. But, man, these refs still can mess up anything.
Yes, I don't think it's going to get rid of the crazy the one like the Champions League final. So in the Champions League final, the goalkeeper was out, so he wasn't even the last man back. There were two people going for the ball. It ricocheted off of the defender. The defender and attacker went for it. The defender cleared it. It went off his own guy and back to it. And the question became, right, who got there first, the attacker or the defender? Because if the attacker played it off the defender, then he was on. And if the defender cleared it out and it went off his own guy and off, then it was off. And, that won't help.
But the awesome thing about the world of AI, right? They can put all those combinations into the matrix, and the refs should still get this.
The other thing that you'll like about this, Mikey Dobbs, is that it will instantly show up for both the television audience and in the stadium, so that it has an animation which shows the players and where it turns red where they're offside.
Yeah. Let players cheer immediately or not. This is what I hope will come back to the game.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be automatic. That moment is automatic. And so if it's black or white, like if there's a ball played through like the one on Castellanos we looked at earlier today, that one will automatically be triggered, and there's no question about it. It's just a question: when the ball was kicked, was he further off? And that will be question.
This is the problem with the video assistant referees. It still brought all the emotion back and the controversy of whether he was actually on or offside, and it slowed the game up. Where Carmen, in tennis, what I loved when they instituted the technology, it was like it kind of took away the McEnroe. Which also kind of sucks.
Yeah, the slam the racket.
It's kind of awesome to hear him complain.
Are you serious?
Are you serious? That was clearly on the line, right? But it's either on the line or on the... And technology kind of takes that away. It's like zaps you out. You're like, no, you're not smarter than actual technology.
What I'm hoping is you won't have these moments where your team scored and you can't really celebrate because everybody's going to wait for a minute before the review, then you celebrate. It just takes the joy.
Yeah, it does.
Right, I agree with that.
So that shouldn't happen. The other thing that will not happen is...
So are they going to do this in the Qatar World
starting
Cup?
It starts Saturday after Thanksgiving.
They just dropped that bomb on us.
Dropped it on you. Like they didn't drop it on you. You dropped it on them.
So here's my... Not only am I predicting that Atlanta United is going to make it to the playoffs, I'm predicting that that's going to be a disaster.
How can the system that you've been calling for 10 years be a disaster? Surely you'll give it a chance.
I'm going to give it a chance, but I just feel like, just like they introduced VAR, right? Like they didn't think it all the way through. Like the little who touched it last thing, they forgot the minor details. And if you're wrong 5% and you were only 5% wrong previously with the referee being 5%, then you made no progress. You got to nail it.
You've made me such a believer, Mikey Dobbs, for years. I won't go against you to bet against Atlanta United making the playoffs because we should. But I will bet against you on this. I think at the end of the World Cup, you and I will sit here and we will say, not that there wasn't any call that was bad, but overall that the system is way better.
I really hope so. Because obviously I believe in it, but this is like such a mystery news bomb to me that I have to be skeptical that this obvious logical use of technology is now going to be used in the World Cup in 6 months.
Okay.
All right.
Now, is there any silly season European that you want to talk about? Any transfers? Any craziness?
Well, Gareth Bale's going.
There were two players who are about. So again, the transfer window opens tomorrow, and that means two new players for LAFC.
Yeah.
It means Gareth Bale of Wales, and who goes from Real Madrid to LAFC, and Chiellini, who goes from Juventus to LAFC. I mean, talk about LAFC is already in what place, Mikey Dobbs?
They're number 1, right?
First place.
So, they're looking pretty scary.
Yeah. They got to be the odds-on favorite. Yeah.
So that's equal to Mama, I think.
Yeah, well, because they're the only ones in MLS who have a defender.
Yeah. That's it.
Chiellini, as old as he is,
just played in the European.
He real
Cup
good
championship.
still.
Yep.
He wily.
Yeah.
A wily veteran. As not Caleb Wiley, but Wily veteran, I mean.
So what else is going on in silly season other than Holland going to Man City?
Well, I thought the one that I was going to say is that you had mentioned Tyler Adams.
Yeah, Tyler Adams.
Right.
Leeds.
So Tyler Adams went to Leeds from Germany, from Leipzig, and
there's another U.S. up.
I gotta believe, as a Man United fan, this is exactly this shows the European bias, right? So Man United are desperate for a defensive midfielder, right? But they don't want to play odds over the moon. We want Declan Rice, but they want 120 million for him. We need a great defensive midfielder. We don't want to pay tons of money. They just got Tyler Adams, who's 23, in his prime, terrific defensive midfielder from a Champions League team. And they got him for what, 17, 12, something like that? It was like nothing, peanuts.
Yeah.
Why didn't Man United sign him? Just because the Americans
they're too good for their own
brand.
brand.
He's going to be good.
Yeah, I think so too. Now they're also talking about, I think if I'm getting his name right, it's Chris Richards, another American player. They're talking about going to Leeds United as well.
Oh, really?
I read that today.
I didn't hear that.
That's just a rumor, but yeah, is it Chris Richards? He plays for another.
You talking about from our left back? Oh no, Chris Richards.
He plays for Bayern, I think.
Oh yeah, on the twos. Yeah, he plays for the twos. Yeah, I don't know about him. I mean, we haven't seen anything.
I don't know.
Yet.
They're talking about 12 to 14 million on the transfer from him to Leeds as well. What's his position? Defender.
He's 22 years old.
Yeah. So now Jesse Marsh is going to be under the U.S. flag scrutiny for sure. Yeah. If this guy goes, it's either U.S. soccer is still trash over in EPL, and so is the. So
I don't know really anything about Chris Richards, who's seen the Bayern Munich 2 play. But what I will say is the two guys he got before that, the two Americans, Brendan Aronson and Tyler Adams, are class. They can play in the Premier League.
Hell yeah, they can.
That's going to make Leeds better. I know they lost a bunch of talent, but Tyler Adams is a player that doesn't exist, right? Tyler Adams is a defensive midfielder who is young but seasoned, terrific defender, reads the game. I mean, that's like priceless.
Yeah, I agree.
I have said this and been quoted, here on the podcast. I believe Tyler Adams already is the most talented U.S. American player ever. And now I don't think he hasn't shown it yet. Like, I don't think he's the best player ever because he would have to do it over 10, 12 years to do it. But in terms of, I think he is the classiest player, the most talented player we have ever had play for us.
I think the most talented player I've seen is, and this means nothing in terms of resume because he's got to prove it over the next 10 years. Yeah. To your point is Gio Reyna.
That's what I knew you were
now,
gonna say.
I mean, he could, totally fall off the map. Yeah. I get it. But in terms of pure talent, man.
But if you had to bet on a guy making an impact, you'd bet on Tyler Adams over Gio Reyna because he plays a position where
if it was my financial portfolio, I'd be with you. Yeah. With you. Just a little more conservative. Okay. Gio Reyna, he's got a little bit of sass to him. He's a little smaller. He could get injured. And Tyler Adams is going to be a safe bet that he's going to be a badass.
And the other player who is reportedly coming to MLS is Jesse Lingard.
Really? Mm-hmm. I've not heard that.
I haven't either.
Okay.
Said it's almost settled. There's it's a question of not where he's coming to MLS. It's which club. There are a couple of clubs fighting over him.
Any rumors on Messi? Where's he going? He's sticking with PSG, right?
Yeah, for this year. Yeah, and then he's going. Yeah.
So just for 2022.
Yeah, for the next season.
So the whole next season.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Dave, we talked about it all.
Talked about it all.
Man. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank y'all.